guys, this is Steven with another episode of my super exciting Let's Play series. Today is going to be another Redstone tutorial, or Redstone build, I guess. It'll be a little simpler than our glorious clock, and much simpler than our glorious computer. And probably more complicated than not so glorious mini clock, though. Anyways, so I'm going to describe to you what I want to build, and then we're going to build it together. I've kind of started a little bit, but nothing complicated. So this was an exercise that I did in class, and I have always thought that it's a wonderful exercise in logic design. Now, logic design is what you call the design of circuits to meet specific needs, so a specific problem. So I'm going to tell you what our problem is. We have two people who want to play a game. Okay? We're going to call them very, very creatively Player 1 and Player 2. Now, the name of the game is one that you're all familiar with, Rock, Paper, Scissors. And to my German listeners, that would be Schnick, Schnack, Schnuck. And the game works like this. Two players each, while the other is not watching, so I guess we'll do it like put a wall between the two players. Each will throw either rock, paper, or scissors, and of course the winner is determined according to what they throw. Rock beats scissors, paper beats rock for some reason, and scissors beats paper. And what we can do is create a circuit, which will do this very thing for us. And so of course it's very stupid and trivial, and you could just as easily do it without a circuit. That's not the way I operate. I don't do things that way. So basically, if you look at this, in order to do this, we're basically gonna we're gonna eventually have 3 buttons, one for each of the things, and the players will throw. But for the time being, we're gonna do this with levers, and then convert it to something more complicated later. We'll just be able to hook it up to this down there. So I've assigned each of the throws a code. So 0, 0, I'm calling rock. 0, 1, I'm calling paper. 1, 0, I'm calling scissors. And then 1, 1 we won't use because we only need 3. So we're just going to use the top 3. Okay? And this makes it easier for us to work with things because now instead of having to figure out the rules, we can just compare. We know that 0, 0 beats 1, 0, 0, 1 beats 0, 0, and 1, 0 beats 0, 1. And then 1, 1, if somebody throws 1, 1 by hitting the levers like this, 1, 1, then we're going to make it so that the game is a tie because they entered something wrong. We could make it so they lose. We can kind of design the rules here. I'm going to go into that a little bit later. But what I've done is basically drawn up some diagrams based on the combinations who would win what. So for example, if player 1 is rock, which is 0, 0, player 2 is paper, which is 0, 1, we're going to have player 2 win. So we're going to have a little light that lights up on the top here that'll maybe say like, maybe it'll just be a big light, maybe it'll say player 2 wins, I don't know yet. We can really make it say anything we want to. An output is really an output. So that's just an example. Or if they throw the same thing, for example, they both throw 0, 1, which I believe, let me correctly look. Okay, so 0, 1 is paper, sorry. So if they both throw this, it'll be a tie. So it'll show the tie screen. Maybe I'll put in a screen for this. So it's pretty simple. In order to do this, we're gonna have we're gonna combine all these inputs into one circuit, kind of. So we'll have 4 inputs. We'll call them A, B, C, D, and I labeled them such. Now, what we'll do is I've kind of drawn up some you call them truth tables, which shows with any given input what the output will be. And since we only have 4 inputs, we know there's going to be 16 possible combinations. Okay, because we have 2 to the 4th combinations. 2 to the 4th power is 16. So I've drawn out what all of those are, and it turns out for each player there's only 3 scenarios that they can win, and there are that follows that there are 13 scenarios where the player can either lose or tie. So what I did was for each player I created an equation that shows when they will win. So this is the equation for player 1. I used W, X, Y, and Z instead of A, B, C, D, but it's the same thing. A, B, C, D. So this doesn't look like much, but this says that player 1 will win if the player 1 throws rock, which is 0, 0, and player 2 throws, actually wait, is this the equation for player 1? I think it is. Let's see here. Sorry guys. Oh yeah, because scissors was 1, 0. So rock versus scissors means player 1 wins. Or, that's what the plus sign means, or if the player throws 0, 1, which is paper, and the other player throws rock, player 1 wins. Or, plus sign again, or if the player throws paper, oh wait, sorry, not paper, 1, 0, yeah, scissors, and the other player throws paper, then this player 1 will win. So this is our equation. And this will be the same for the other one, except with the numbers reversed, kind of like, just hop it over that way. But I'm just going to show you how to do this one right here. And then I'll put in the other one and show you the finished game. And then we'll make improvements to this in coming episodes. I kind of want this to be like our running tutorial. And I'm sorry I'm not going more from the ground up, but this is really stuff you can get off Wikipedia. For those of you who are following Wikipedia, the things that we've constructed right here, this is called our sum of products form, which is also your sum of min terms form. Each of these 4 groups of literals. A literal is any letter with its negation or not. These are called a min term, and they correspond to a number in our truth table. So this number here is 0, 0, 1, 0. That's number 2 in the truth table. This one is 0, 1, 0, 0, which is 4 in the truth table. And the next one is 9 in the truth table, because it's 1, 0, 0, 1. So, ignore that if you're not following Wikipedia. Now then, so for our first min term that we're going to build, that's what you call a group of 4 variables here. It's going to be w naught, x naught, y, z naught. So we just want everything false and then y true. So we're going to use 4 AND gates, okay? Because this multiplied together, it just means 4 AND, or all of them into an AND gate. But in Minecraft, we can only build AND gates with 2 inputs. So we'll build 2 AND gates and then AND those together. It's the same thing. So first we need to grab our W naught. Out here, let me show you what I made. For each input, I created a line that is just the input, and then a line that's the inverse of the input, using our friendly NOT gate right here. So we can pull from these, and it kind of looks like a real diagram when we do this. But so this is for A naught, sorry, not W naught. I'm using the wrong term here. Oops. So we're just going to wire this way back here. And I want to do all the gates out this way where we have more space. And we're going to be using our Redstone Repeaters quite liberally. Okay. So we already need one right here, not surprisingly. Okay. And I will be using some embedded for this because I really can't be bothered right now. Sorry. I want this tutorial to go smoothly and everything. So our first AND gate, and if you don't know how to build an AND gate, this whole tutorial will probably be complicated for you. But this is our AND gate. The first input is A naught. And the next one, I believe, was B naught or X naught. It's the same thing. We use those letters interchangeably. Yes, X naught. So we'll take that from right here. Oh, okay. So I have all these lines should be on the lines that we're pulling. So this is X naught. We'll put one space in between them so that our lines don't cross. I don't really care about delay for this game because it's going to be very quick. So we're not going to worry about this. We're also not worrying about optimizing the size. Don't think I'm a total idiot for building it this size and this way. I really just don't want to deal with wait a second. Did I take the wrong line? I may have taken the wrong line. Oh yes, I did. Sorry about that. If you want to follow along with this, I will be posting the save file. So we'll do the same thing again with the repeater if we need to. And we will right here. Yep. So we have our first AND gate completed. When these two are both off from the beginning, we get an on. So now we need to build our next one next to it. This is going to go on for quite some length, I might add. But I'm okay with that. I mean, it's for instructional purposes only. I really want you guys to be able to understand this. And this is actually the way I draw my diagrams. You're going to get to see that when I draw my diagrams in real life. Using day command because I don't want to build at night. Out of courtesy for you guys, I wish every Let's Player who doesn't fight creepers at night would use the day command so that we could see what the hell they're doing. So let's look at our next literal series. So we have Y and Z naught, which means C and D naught. So I'll probably just build this first gate and then do the other ones, since you can figure them out from the first one. You'll be able to download the world, never fear. So this is our Y, so we'll pull the Y from right here. And what I'm doing is just creating a branch. See, this is a branch off of our main line, and it can keep going to feed the others. So our next AND gate we'll put right here. And then we will AND these two together out here. Once we get the outputs, I guess. Oop, not like that. This is super exciting, I know. But you'll be pleased to know that this is actually a filler video until I get my 1,000 subscriber special ready. Yeah, I can't talk much about that in this video, unfortunately. It's kind of a secret. Let's see here. So we need to run. Look at me being silly here. So we'll run this guy like so. Oops. And then Y we want to go turn on so we can verify that this is working. Boy, I'm using lots of materials here. Come on, there we go. Sorry to be shamelessly editing, but like I said, for tutorials I just don't care. So we turn on the Y, we leave these others off, and then we want to take the inverse of our D, or Z in this case. Let me put a repeater here. So the inverse of D is actually super simple to get with this design. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. So now we have our first midterm, and we're going to go confirm it. So right now, oops. Let's put a door up here for the hell of it, or heck of it. Okay. So what we want to verify is our choice. So we want to verify that things are working. I'm going to turn everything off real quick. Oops. Up is off in this system. So for example, we're looking at, yeah, okay, 0, 0, 1, 0. So player 1 throws rock. Player 2 throws scissors, okay? Now, the line we're building is for player 1. So if the line is on, it means that player 1 has won, rock versus scissors. We know that rock versus scissors means rock wins. And if we look, our door is open. So rock has beaten scissors, just with this very simple logic that we made, which is, so these 3 gates right here are a 4-input AND gate. That's what that made. And really, to clean this up, what we should do is move it over. Oops. And then we'll take this guy around like this. You do have to point the blocks right into the gate, which is not a problem for us. Skilled redstone engineers that we are. Am I right? My avid fans. So, this is our first one. So what we'll do is, we'll create the other ones, and then we'll OR them all together, okay? And then that will become our final output. So I really think you should try to build this without, you know, downloading my save first. But if you're having trouble, trouble by all means, definitely do so. This is, you can tell this is gonna be really long because we have 6 midterms total that we have to do, 3 for each player. We've done 1 and we're already out this distance, so I estimate that we'll be about out to maybe here when we finish for the full game. But it's kind of fun. You'll be able to, you can put it on your server if you want to, play with people. It'll work fine on a server, no glitches. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So I think what I'm going to do now is cut the video and finish the circuit. It's going to be a huge pain, and I'll give you the save file like I said so you can see what I did. But I don't know how interesting it would be to watch me do the same thing over and over again, because all I'm going to be doing is pulling from these lines the variable that I need, either A naught, B naught, so on and so on. So, I will be right back. Hey guys, we're back. I gotta say, that was a giant pain. That was not fun at all doing this. But, you know, it was a learning exercise. I want to point out, before any of you pointed out, that obviously this can be compressed. I want to show you how. I initially thought that I would need lots of space for all these, but it turns out they're spaced perfectly. So you can take this line and bring it to about here. So we can cut out a good 10-15 spaces easily. So each of these 4 lines goes to a quad AND gate like this, and the first 3, so I said we had 3 terms we add together. We use an OR gate, which is just running 3 lines into a point. Take the output. This is player 1's door right here. Then over here we did the exact same thing, just ran different logic lines for the other midterms. I'll post that equation as well. Maybe not tonight. I'll see. So this is player 2's door right here. So if the player's door opens, it means they win. Obviously, this is my not so pretty solution. This is verifying that the logic works. And if you ever see a line like this without a stair step, every other line has a stair step right here. These just mean I could take it from the Z0 line. Pretty simple. And so right now I have all the levers off and both the doors are closed, which means that if both players throw a rock, there is no winner. So let's do some example scenarios. Let's test some things that we can easily predict. So number 1 will be, let's see here, paper versus rock. Paper being player 1, so player 1 wins. Good. We expected that. Let's do, I have a privacy wall here. Let's do against myself. Scissors versus paper. Player 1 wins. Okay, player 1 keeps winning. Let's do rock versus scissors. So player 2 should win. If we look at his door down there. Huh, player 1. Wait, hold on a second. I think I have my codes wrong. Okay, this is rock versus. What is 0-1? Oh, 0-1 is paper. Sorry guys, I got my order wrong. Scissors versus. Okay, so now player 2 should be winning. And he did. You can see his door is sideways. Excellent. Let's throw something in. Invalid combination versus scissors. Nobody wins, because invalid combination is invalid. Tautology. Invalid combination versus invalid combination. Nobody wins. So, as far as I can tell, all of our hands work. You can verify if you go into my save file. Sorry if I screwed up while I was on camera, but I promise this works. I spent forever testing it. It is only about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't know. So what we're going to do in the next episode, or the next time I get around to it, next episode's actually going to be the 1,000 subscriber special, which will not be like a normal episode, by the way. It will not be like anything you've ever seen before. Well, maybe a couple things. For those of you that are downloading the save, this separates the 2 players' logic lines so you can easily compare. We're going to hook these up to big, cool displays that will display something meaningful. We're going to hook up the levers into flip-flop buttons, which will allow us to easily dial in rock, paper, or scissors, and then reset, and maybe we'll even put in a counter so that we can keep score of the 2 players, if we want to be ambitious. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, you're definitely missing out on regular content. We're talking nearly every day, if not every 2 days. And definitely stay tuned for the 1,000 subscriber special. It will be, you know, by definition, very special. So, I guess I wanted to say a couple people have raised some concern that I've been asking for donations in light of a recent global tragedy, which would be our earthquake and tsunami in Japan. So, you know, I don't want to completely stop asking people to donate. So what I want to say is that I'll be donating 10% of all my proceeds over the next 4 weeks, including the people that have already donated. I'll be donating 10% of all the proceeds to the Japan earthquake and relief. I'm going to find a good charity that I trust to do this, not some group of idiots who are trying to extort money from people. I'm going to find someone that I trust to get their background information and everything, and I will be donating that money. So if you feel bad about donating to me, I'm going to be donating the money, part of the money, to Japan and the rest to I guess my Let's Play stuff. But if you want to wait and go ahead and donate money to Japan, I don't mind. Please, there's absolutely no pressure to donate money to me. Totally optional. I will not care, or I mean, I might care, but I won't be upset. You know, I totally understand. So I hope you guys, you know, are involved somewhat in helping those unfortunate people over there, because I would definitely want them to be involved if something happened to Atlanta, where I live. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, because my 10,000 subscriber special isn't too far off. Have a good night. Post your questions, comments, requests, and everything.